Hello, 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 everyone. Oh my God, it's been a while. It feels like it's been forever. Um, I didn't connect my mic, but I think y'all should be hearing me fine. Y'all hearing me just fine, right? I didn't connect my mic, so let me know if you hearing me just fine. I'm checking out the boards. I want to welcome every single person who are locked in on all of the different platforms we stream on. So, good evening to those of you on YouTube, on Facebook. Good evening to those of you on LinkedIn and those of you on Twitter. So we're streaming on 4 platforms straight, right? So we're getting into the thick of things. Welcome, guys. Oh my God, it's been a while. I miss you guys. I don't know if you miss me, but I miss you guys. You know, this is what I love doing. I love sharing stories. I love storytelling. That's my jam. And the little 1 month, I like a GP, you know? I like a GP. I ain't gonna lie, right? I've missed you guys. Been gone for what, about a month. A lot of things were happening in my life, and I had to take a pause for the cause. So I had to kind of put a few things on hold, and it's always good to take a little break from the show and then regroup. Regroup and probably refocus, reassess, whatever the case is. We got to do that every now and again. My name is Jael Joseph. If you're just joining us in virtual land, welcome to the Jael Joseph live show exclusive interview. Today is Saturday, the 16th of September. I haven't done a show in a Saturday in a long time. So we're back on today on a Saturday. We're gonna maybe mixing it up this season. We're gonna try and get a few folks booked up ahead of time, so you guys kind of know who's on the roster coming up for this season. I promise to give you guys an interesting season and keep you guys entertained. Let me know where you're from. Drop your flag, or let me know what location you're locked in from. So let me know. Share the love, spread the love, and let me know if somebody's celebrating a birthday. I'd love to shout you out. Hi, Velda. Oh my God, I just saw Velda like not too long ago. And she's on the live. Hi, Velda. Don't forget, if you're just dropping on, share the live. Share the live. I hate to ask every single time, because I feel like it should become part of you. If you're part of my gang, once you get on here, you have to share the live so folks can come in, so folks can get a little gist of the show with you, so they can enjoy it with you, right? You want people to enjoy it with you, right. So go ahead and share the live to all of your friends, all of your fans, all of the people who follow you. Hi, my love. Hi, Natasha. Thank you very much. Listen, I need to let me fix my other screen so I can see y'all properly. Hi, Hermina. Hello, love. How are you? How are you guys doing? Hope you guys having a good day. If anybody's having a birthday today, let me know. I would be more than happy to wish them happy birthday. I'd be more than happy to do that. That's the least I could do. So welcome to the show. Thank you very much. So just to get you guys up to speed, those of you who wondering why I have not been on. So a few things happened over the last month. I had to do I did the Caribbean Music Award, like most of you probably saw. My video actually went viral. It was a look story. Anywho, so I did that, and that was fun, being at the event, getting to meet Wyclef and so many other celebrities. So that was fun. Hi, Janjo. How are you? Hi, Esther. And also, most of you knew my documentary was made it to the Caribbean Tales International Film Festival. So I've been busy doing a lot of press, doing a lot of events, and then of course I started back teaching again this semester. So I am back at the University of Guelph at Humber and enjoying this. I love teaching, and I'm happy to do what I do and do it well. Hello, like a girl can't help if she does things well. Like I am blessed and highly favored. So yeah, I've just been like being grateful for being able to be in certain spaces where I could share my talents, share my expertise, and also give back to the community that I love so much. Hi Maureen, how are you, my doodle darling? It was so nice to see you. Hi Janjo, Johnny say my pretty child. So guys, have you shared the live? Have you shared the live? Have you shared the live? Make sure you share the live. Okay, share the live. Hit the share button. That's the only way that this can reach multiple people. Because don't be greedy. Don't just watch it for yourself and yourself alone. We have an amazing guest coming on. Terri Henry is going to be joining us. She's known as the B Lady. Um, and I am excited to speak to her. I've been seeing a lot of her, and I kind of wanted to. I was nosy. I wanted to know a little bit about who she is. I like story. I like Beth, like all I like Beth. Right? This is why I do this, because I like to know people business. No, I'm just kidding. I really and truly want to be able to highlight people like Terri, and I'm so grateful that she could take the time out of her schedule. She's a busy person, and she's taken this opportunity to come and share with you guys about all of the wonderful things. And of course, Terri is the winner of the GEMS Foundation. That's the GEMS Foundation Entrepreneurship Challenge. And I happen to sit on the board for the GEMS Foundation. So, you gotta give the girl, you gotta give GEMS, gotta give, a little space and a little room for folks to get to know a little bit about her. So if you've shared the live, give me a thumbs up. Put a thumbs up underneath if you've shared the live. I want to see a thumbs up that you shared the live, because once you give me the thumbs up, we're going to get ready to go. So hit the share button and give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you've shared the live and we're good to go. If you're celebrating your birthday this month, I want to wish you guys a happy birthday in advance. If today, the 16th of September, just happens to be your birthday, I want to shout out my girl Celeste, who celebrated her birthday on the 15th. My child Lexi, who's celebrating her birthday on the 18th of September, and her mom Claire, who's celebrating her birthday on the 20th of September. I want to wish them happy birthday. Oh, and my cousin Gavin, who celebrated his birthday on the 8th of September. Everybody I can think of right off the top of my head. Happy birthday to you guys, and I hope you guys have an awesome month. We're getting ready for the show. So Terri, a lot of folks probably might know her or might not know her. You might have heard of her. You might have wondered, like, who's this lady with a little British accent? Always talking about Dominica this and Dominica that, and sometimes some of us, especially some of us who are like born bred Dominicans, we're like, but where those foreigners just come out and just end up in Dominica, and all of a sudden they miss most patriotic. Terry's gonna give you a little bit of a story. Terry's gonna give you a little bit of a story, because when she puts down the British accent and she mixes up with the Dominican accent, you just be like, say what? It does frighten you. Right? So I'm so excited. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Thank you for the thumbs up. So excited to have Terri here for the very first time on my show. I am so grateful to all of you who've given me the thumbs up. Thank you very, very much for sharing the live. Love you guys. I love you. And thank you for this. So without further ado, I want to welcome, for the very first time on the show, on Jael Joseph Live. Terri says she's laughing already. Terry's how's she under the live? And she is supposed to be in the live. And how that happening there? She's supposed to be in the live, but she under the live. And we're so excited to have Terri on here with us for the very first time. Make some noise and make her feel warm. Give her the bee love. Hi Terri.
Hey Jael.
How are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
It's so nice to have you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's an honor. It's absolutely an honor. I consider you one of the you're really one of the people who are not, you're not just pushing your product that you sell, but you push Dominica in a huge way across the OECS. Been seeing you. I seen you everywhere. I like Terri, like salt in every gravy, across the Caribbean. And I just wanna congratulate you on all the different things that you've won, all the different initiatives, because it really does take. People look at sometimes people winning these contests or these competitions, and they think that it's just a walk in the park, but you
Oh,
have to submit like, listen, so many documents you have to fill out. Sometimes you feel like you're selling your soul, before you can actually even get an opportunity to pitch or to speak, or all of these things. And you've been very successful and doing it well. And I recently saw, your TikTok video where you spoke about the funds that you'd won from the GEMS Foundation, the entrepreneurship challenge, and what you'd started using the funds to do, and how, I mean, so again, there's the transparency, there's accountability, there's all of those things that come with winning all of these different
mhm.
events and all of these things. I want to big up entrepreneurs, Joseph. Thank you very much for the stars. Thank you very much for the stars. Big up yourself. I love getting the stars, and these are my special fans, and they always send me stars. Thank you very much, entrepreneurs, Joseph, for that. But Terri, I want to welcome you to the show, because I really want to get to know a little bit about who you are, how you started doing what you do. It's not the first time I'm hearing your name, along the lines of health, wellness, and all of these things. So I want to get into it and kind of find out a little bit about you. Tell me, Terri, where did you grow up? Like where you from? Where you from?
Okay, all right. So yeah, the British accent confuses some people. They're like, where you from? What's up with that? Okay, so I grew up in England.
Hmm.
My mother's British and my father has Dominican roots. So I grew up between my mom and then my Dominican grandparents would kind of look after me at the weekends and vacation times and everything. So they would tell me about Dominica, and I was like, okay, that sounds nice. And then they decided to retire and move back home. And I was like, my grandparents have gone. So I need to come and see them. But I was studying at the time,
Hmm.
and literally, like, I put my pen down on my last exam at university. I didn't stay for graduation. I just got on the plane because I just was called to come to Dominica. And from the first minute I stepped off the plane, I felt home. I just
Wow.
like I kind of even remember that first breath of air that I took, and I was like, the air is so warm and it's just feels so good. And my granddad picked me up, and he's from Wesley.
Hmm.
And so big up my Wesley family. And we drove through Wesley, and he introduced me to all these people and everything. And from by the time we got to Salisbury, I was like, okay, I'm moving here.
The end. Eh? How long ago was that? Like, how long ago did
Okay,
you
so
make that
that
move?
was 20, like 4 years ago, I think, that first trip.
Wow.
And then I
Wow.
ended up having to go back to England because I mean, I just left everything. Like, I left my life on hold. So I went back to kind of clean it up and settle things, and I did a little more training. And then I came back to move in 2004. So I've been here like
Wow.
almost 20 years.
Wow. So you see, people, she's a Dominican. All right, she's a Dominican, diehard Dominican. So tell me a little bit about your background. Like you mentioned that you went to university. So give us a little bit of background, because I'm almost certain that your background has a lot to play in what you've been, like, the kind of path that you've walked.
Okay, so I think from a young age, I was really into health and wellness, like looking at my foods that I ate and what I used on my body. My first part-time job was in a health store, and I used to read all the manuals and look at all the supplements and experiment with like the oils and everything. So that was like always a passion of mine. And then I ended up going to university. I was good academically. um I could have skipped the university part. Like, to be honest, like I kind of wanted to get some experience in the world or do something really practical. But I was like the first person in my family to go to university. So it was a little like, okay, just go, just do your thing, just study.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up doing fine. I did great. I did a bachelor's of science in media and sociology.
Mm-hmm.
And then after my first visit to Dominica, I was like, no, I need to follow the passion of wellness. And
Mm-hmm.
I studied massage therapy. So I was a massage therapist. And then I was like, okay, I'm coming home.
Wow. So Terry comes back home and you decide that you're not leaving in 2004. You're not going anywhere else. So tell me a little bit about your process of getting set up in Dominica. What was that like? Because I hear so many different mixed stories about some people have a really great experience, some people have not so great an experience. What was your experience like, getting set up in Dominica?
Okay, I always say like Dominic has a way of like embracing you or spitting you out. Like,
It's one or
like
the other.
yeah, you see people come and it's either they stay or they leave real fast.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I just knew I wanted to be here no matter what.
Uh-huh.
Just it was just like no matter what, this is where I need to be. Um so I think I had a pretty easy time because I was in flow. I think when you just know what you're supposed to be doing, you feel connected. I'm a nature person. I love just being quiet, alone in nature, watching trees, hugging trees, being on the
You're,
beach.
so you're a
Yeah,
tree.
yeah, totally. So I was always like, I would feel just at home. And I think when you're really like connected to nature and you're connected to your internal guidance, your divine guidance, and
Mm-hmm.
things just flow.
Mm-hmm.
So I just managed to like I met Connie Astafan. She had a health and beauty space at the time. She's like, yeah, you can come work for me. I was like, oh wow, that was easy. And I just started working. I sorted out all my paperwork. So I got my passport, my driver's license one time, and just did what I needed to do.
Wow, that is amazing, Terry. You mentioned, the health and wellness aspect of it, getting into massage and stuff. You also played a role in what people knew as, I think it was the Caribbean, it was health and wellness in Dominica, the health and wellness organization in Dominica. Why did you feel like, because I remember hearing about health and wellness from my friend, Lillian Piper, and hearing her wanting to, initiating and wanting to set up, something to do with spas, something to do with health and wellness. And it just seemed like it was very fitting because at the time Dominica was moving in the direction of tourism and especially ecotourism. And it just seemed like it just made sense. So why did you decide to jump on that bandwagon and push? Why you felt it was so important for Dominica?
Mm. I think that's all. It's what we are. We have so much abundance, and that's. I think as well. There's such a rich heritage of wellness. Our centenarians and the natural way of living, and it's just important for us to honor that and keep it going, and then just look at the herbs that we've always used. Look at the ways of life, the foods. I mean, we just have the best food. We have the best water. We just have like everything. Like we have clean water to bathe in, to
Dude,
drink.
you're gonna make me lose all my other followers. Like everybody, all the other island followers are gonna be like, this is like a promotional of Dominica promotion
Yeah,
promotion that's happening.
definitely. I mean, I just feel like we just have so much to nurture ourselves with and then to offer the rest of the world.
Mhm.
So, and there's a great community of wellness, individuals. And so it's just been a great journey to be a part of that.
Oh, great. It's good to hear that. You also served for some time as vice president of the organization, and you've since, you've gone from massage therapy to now bees. I'm like, so no, no, no. When I think about it from like the literal sense,
Yes.
like she went from like relaxation work to like stinging work. Like I got stung by a bee like a week and a half ago, and like
Mhm.
my on my finger, and my finger swelled up, my hand swelled up, and I was just like, I went outside and I didn't want to even be outside because I just did not want to get stung again. And you
Mm,
went from massage to bees.
yes.
Like, tell me a little bit about the transition and what inspired you to actually go on and take on such a, I call it like a risk. It just feels like a death wish. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so that's kind of it didn't just happen from massage to bees. There was like quite a few things in between. So I was working as a massage therapist. I worked at Secret Bay for a while. I worked at many other hotels and different places and loved doing it. And then I also was studying ecotherapy
Mhm.
and nature connection work. So I started doing like nature therapy, basically, just getting people out to walk in nature and like mindfulness practices within the natural environment. And that
Mhm.
was just, I love doing that. I would sometimes combine my massage and body work with that. So I would do like massages at the hot springs and things like that. So, that was, and I was writing about it. And so that was like my real passion. And then after Maria, everyone changed, it changed lives. And I decided, okay, I want to take a different trajectory with my business. I'm always into wellness, but I decided I wanted to do more products than services. I just
Wow.
really wanted to get in because I really couldn't do any services at the time, right?
Mhm.
And so I just started experimenting, making products, and I was just really drawn to bees at the time. And I can't give you an
Bees.
exact, yeah, I can't give you an exact reason. I just guess I was guided to bees, and I just started looking at it. I was like, oh, it'd be cool to like be in bees and be a beekeeper. And then I realized, okay, to be a beekeeper is a very it's a high cost of entry into the beekeeping profession. And it takes a long time to really make a business as a beekeeper. So I decided, okay, I will take the beeswax and I'll make products with it. And then I'm somehow connected to bees and I'll get the bees later. And then a few years
Mm.
later,
So did you start like purchasing the beeswax from
yeah,
people?
yeah,
Okay, so that's how it really started, was
yeah,
purchasing of the beeswax and making the product, and then
yeah,
you.
got my bees. And
Huh?
so
Go
it's
ahead, continue.
so I guess like if you're into bees, it's really relaxing. It's
You into
really,
bees? I don't know about in being into bees. I don't know if I want to be into bees.
it's
You talking about, it's really.
really relaxing. Like it's so,
Explain to us, Terry, how
yeah.
is being into bees relaxing?
All right. So bees like they only sting as defense, right? So most times in the morning, I go and pick my bush for my tea, and I sit next to my beehives, and I'm just in my shorts and t-shirt, and the bees are flying in and out because they're doing their thing. They're not really worried about me. And just watching them just go about the business and hearing their, they emit like a healing frequency, so it's very calming if you're not scared of bees. It's
Well, I'm not
calming.
scared of bees, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I like getting bitten by bees, or stung by bees. How many times have you been stung, Terry?
A few times. Quite a few times. Yeah, it's just an occupational thing. It's just like something that happens when you're in bees. It's fine.
How is it fine? So because I had a conversation with you about getting stung, and you were like, well, I feel like if I get one bite, it's only one bite.
Okay, so the thing is that if you're in bees, it's a good idea to get stung by bees, right? And
Why? First of all, why?
Because if you're around bees a lot and you're not getting stung, you can actually sometimes develop more tendency to have an allergy towards bee stings, because you may be getting bee stings in your clothing and not feeling it, but you're getting exposed to bee venom. So if that kind of builds up around you, then you're more likely to have a worse reaction. So if you get the stings like on occasion, your reactions get less. So it's like, okay, you kind of suffer now because you know you're going to suffer less later.
So you're telling me I should get more stings, right? Like get more
Probably
stings.
no, probably not, because you're not around bees too often. But if you're a beekeeper, you got to get stung.
All right. So take us now into you decide to develop you become a beekeeper. What was that process like? I mean, you did the wax for some time, and I
Mhm.
remember taking the wax, buying the wax, and doing different products from that, and then you decide that you want to venture out into being a beekeeper. And I mean, I watch your videos, and they're very relaxing. Not that they have bees in them, but it's just, you talk about, the process and what it is like, especially that most recent video. Tell me a little bit about getting set up to be a beekeeper. What did that entail? Because, I'll tell you something. I know, like, I know our people, and when one person starts something, everybody like to be in it, right? And they don't understand sometimes that it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of energy and a lot of investing, and a lot of it's very time consuming, especially when you're starting off something new. And there's always this misconception that when somebody starts something new, that everybody, like everybody want to be selling plantain by the side of the road, roast plantain by the side of the road, right? So and I've seen quite a few other people decide to venture out into having doing well, being beekeepers. What did
Mhm.
that entail for you, Terry?
Yeah. So it is really a great profession, and a well needed one within our agricultural sector. And so there are a number of beekeepers. I'm actually now the secretary for the Beekeepers Cooperative, right? So I now
It's only
become.
a whole corporation, no we? Oh, you have a whole corporation of beekeepers. Okay then.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, I got started with a course run by Rotary and implemented by Israel Aid. And it was just like a very short course of like a week, learning about bees and getting a hive. And then it was basically like, okay, figure it out. And I was very blessed that I met Bee Appy in Coolidge Street, Nathaniel, and I got his help in like figuring out what to do, because it's a very steep learning curve. I think you have to really be in it a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Mm-hmm.
really have to become passionate about it. It's something that you learn, like there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn. And it takes a lot of like management practices and really understanding the nature of bees, biology of bees, how the seasons work, what plants you have in your area, when they're going to bloom, what's the cycle and of bees. So it's just a real learning experience. So I love it. I'm just a mini beekeeper at this time. I would love to eventually get more hives of my own. But I'm just doing it on a very small scale because Be Natural making products takes the majority of my time. Yeah.
That is very true, as we rightfully see. Did you experience any challenges in like getting set up? I mean, besides the steep learning curve, were there any challenges that came about getting into being
Well, with it's expensive actually. It's very expensive to get into beekeeping. It's there's a lot of equipment and things that you need to get, so it can be prohibitive to some. It takes a while to just get started, and then you have the situation as a new beekeeper, you may lose your bees, and then you have to start again. And
Wh- how do you lose your bees? How does that what happens? Like,
so
explain that.
so
Losing your
bees,
bees.
yeah, so bees have their natural biology is to swarm. right? That's the natural way to reproduce. So the queen, you have one queen in a hive, and she's there happily laying her eggs, and then they realize, like, okay, we're getting too crowded. It's time for the queen to leave there, and she will take about 70% of the hive, and they would just leave. And she builds new queen cells so the old hive can continue. A new queen will emerge and mates and build that hive up. But in the meantime, as a beekeeper, you've lost 70% of your bees.
Now I have a question about this because I purposely, normally when I have to do an interview, especially when it has to do along the lines of a product, or a business, I like to do a lot of research. That is my thing, is doing research. But I refuse to do any research on bees. Just because I was feeling some type of way about my bee sting.
Mm,
I was just like, I was a little apprehensive, and at the same time I'm like, you know what? Terry's a woman, and I think she's going to teach me a little something something about bees that and not just me, a lot of other folks that know nothing. So I am a tebe right now when it comes to bees. So you're saying to me that there's one queen bee and everybody else in the mix.
yes.
So I don't know if I can be this explicit, but kind of like a lineup, right? So there's all of these bees on one queen.
No. So you have the majority of the hive is female, the worker bees.
Okay. All right.
And
Okay.
okay, so the way it works is a queen, okay, when a queen is born, she's called a virgin queen, and she flies out of her hive, and she will mate with several drones, right? But not the drones from her own hive, because that's kind of incestuous, right? So she will fly out, and then she mates with about like 10 to 15 drones, and that's a one mating flight, so one time deal. And then she comes back in the hive, and in that time she stored like something, I think it's like 10 million sperm or something, and
She
she then
stores
lays,
10 million sperm.
yeah, something like that, and then she is in her hive laying like sometimes up to 1,500 to 2,000 eggs a day during the peak of the season, and that's
So
her,
who
that's
does the stinging? Who does the stinging? Is that
the
the
worker bees, the worker bees, which is the
Mm.
majority of the hive. Yeah.
So you're saying when that queen bee decides to leave, she
Hmm.
takes some of the worker bees with her.
She takes most of them with her. Yeah.
Wow. So she takes them and they go somewhere else.
Yeah, they find a new place to live.
Wow. And what kind of what could typically cause that to happen? Is it just the environment? Is it just
That's just their biology. They're programmed to do that. Like that's their way they reproduce. In the wild, that's what they would do. They would build a hive to a certain extent. Then they would say, okay, it's big enough now. Let's leave this one, let it continue, start afresh, and we'll start something else. It's just a way of continuing their genetics. Now, as a beekeeper, that's not in your best interest. So we manage swarms by um, artificially creating that sense that they've left by either giving them more space or taking out the queen and some bees and putting her in another hive, and then so she feels like, oh, I've moved space, and I
also,
got,
it's like you're using reverse psychology on her.
like, she's got more space, and then the
So
new,
you know who the queen is.
oh yeah, she's bigger than the rest.
Really?
She's got all that
That
sperm to hold.
this is people are like commenting on my facial expressions. Like, Jael, your facial expression is priceless. I told you guys, I don't know nothing about bees. Right? I know nothing about bees except this one little thing that I remember growing up hearing, that bees do it and die. And I'm like, they do it and die? Like,
Yes, the
like
drones die. Yeah, like literally their penis explodes and they die.
this is crazy. Guys, this is some education for us then. And I'm happy that Terry's the one to be the one to tell us about. I did not know. Like, I thought it was just like a a poem that I heard.
Mhm.
Like that bees do it and die. But
No, poor male bees. They just pass on their genetics, and then
that's an eruption.
yeah.
This is so people are on the live and they're saying interesting and they're bawling and they're like
Mhm,
people like it's a learning. A lot of people, a lot of times we don't want to admit that we don't know. Like, but it's
mhm.
okay to not know. And I honestly did not know all of this. So you're giving me a lot of information. And somebody might say, Jill, you could have gone on YouTube and researched. But why you want to hear somebody that you don't know talk about it when you have somebody that can tell you about it, right? So thank you very much for sharing that with us. Somebody asked a question earlier on, wanting to know how many did you start with to begin? Like how many? I guess hives. I probably that's probably what they're asking. How many hives? So that's a question from Valga. How many hives
Oh, I
did
just had
you?
one. I
You just
just
had one.
Yeah, I just had one. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's a good idea to start with two. Like, if you want
Mm-hmm.
to get into beekeeping, it's really
Mm-hmm.
recommended start with two, because then you can fully assess what's going on and like compare one to the other. Because as a new beekeeper, you really don't know what you're looking for. So it's good to have two to look at to say, okay, that one's doing better than the other. And then you can figure out why. And yeah.
So there are different elements that play into whether or not it's working out for the hive. So
Yeah.
you've mentioned, even before you told us about what happens to the males. Sorry, man. But you mentioned that you've used somewhat reverse psychology to kind of almost confuse the queen to thinking that she's moved. That way, she remains with you. So tell us a little bit about that that process.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a hive management process, and there's many of them and there's many ways to do it. So,
Mhm.
the more you're in it, the more you learn. And I still feel like I'm real a baby in the business. I have a great mentor. So I'm very blessed for that, to have learned so much in such a short space of time. But again, like you said, like if you're really into it, you go on YouTube, you figure it out, you ask other beekeepers, you work out different ways to do it. So basically it's called a split, and you split the hive, and you do that, and that enables you to grow more hives as well. Like, so as a beekeeper, you want to be growing your operation, you don't want to just stay at one or two. So each year you get a chance to split your hives, they grow back again, and then you have more and more bees.
Wow. Okay. So growing up, I just heard, bees make honey and honey's bees. I watched Winnie the Pooh, and I mean I understood that that's what bees do. They make honey, and that was the end. They
Yeah.
made honey and we ate honey, and it was the healthier thing to for sweetening your teas and for doing all
Mhm.
of these different things, and that was the end. But you have, again, your health and wellness background, you have expanded from not just having one hive or probably two hives, or manipulating your hives to to having different products. Like you have body, you have deodorant, you have balms, you have all these different products that you come out with from honey. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to do all of these different products
Okay.
and what they are, so we have an idea.
Yeah. So I use beeswax in my products, not honey. I just eat lots of honey.
So you see, I tell you, I don't know. More passive.
So I started off with some lip balms and body balms. I basically end up making stuff that I want, that I needed. I saw a gap. Like, I was like, oh, there's not any. And I'm a person, like, I've been into this natural health and wellness for a long time. I kind of obsessively read labels. I know what is natural and what is not natural.
Wait a
And
while. Stick a pin in that, Terry.
yeah.
Rewind a little bit,
Mhm.
because you said something that we kind of brushed on or browsed past. The fact is that it's not honey that's making all of these things. It's the wax
The
that is
wax.
doing all of the. Tell us a little bit about the wax, because I still don't even know what is the wax.
Okay.
Like, is it the honeycomb? Is it the like what exactly is the wax? I mean, and the honeycomb, I only know is a honeycomb from a song.
Right.
I've not come very close enough to a hive to even know what a honeycomb looks like.
All right. So a honeycomb, yeah. So bees make wax. So they actually produce wax for actually a short period of their lives is in wax production, and they have wax glands, and so they produce the wax from the glands like in the abdomen. They manipulate it, they chew it up, and they share it around, and they build this amazing honeycomb. All these, hexagonal combs where they're going to store their honey and where they're also going to raise their young. So their eggs are laid, the queen lays the eggs in the honeycomb. And then they develop there and then they hatch out and then they clean it out and they use it again. So what happens is they use a part of the frame for their brood, for their reproduction, and then they usually use the top part of their frame to put honey and pollen. And so when as a beekeeper, when you want honey, you usually you put an extra box called a super on top, and you stop the queen from going upstairs to lay any eggs, so all they can do is store honey in it, right? So that's the way that a beekeeper would get more. So they have their brood and their honey, and then you have just the honey, right? Now when they store the honey, they cap it. And because honey is like the only food that never goes off, right? It's like pretty much like a magical substance. So
Mm-hmm.
they get it to the right stage, they dehydrate it to the right stage, then they cap it off with more beeswax. And that's how, if we didn't go and take it, they would just leave it like that until they're ready for it, go and take some. But we take that, and then when they're extracting the honey, they would scrape off the top part of that beeswax, and it all gets filtered through, cleaned up, and then we end up with wax that we can use in the natural products.
Boy, that is a lesson. Let me tell you, I was properly tebe and didn't know anything about all of this. And I'm glad I didn't, because I probably would have watched a YouTube video and still be confused by it.
Mhm.
But I think you explained it very well, that we I get it. And I don't know if those of you on the live, somebody says Jael mo pate, moi pate sav non pli. So people are learning, you are teaching a lot of people. And I think sometimes we can go online and find it, but it's sometimes better to hear it from somebody that you're familiar with, somebody somebody you trust, and you can understand, okay, this is what really goes on. So you take that wax
Mhm.
and the honey, obviously, we use them for whatever our dietary needs are,
Yeah.
and you take that wax and you make all of these things. So now let's go back to where we got. Let's unpin now. Let's unpin.
All right. So yeah, I was just saying that I'm really into real natural products. So I would go and say find something. It'd be like, it says, oh, 100% natural, but then you read it and it's not quite. Um
Mm.
so I was like, okay, I need a lip balm. I really can't find any, and so I made my own. And I always used to make a lot of products for my children as well. When they were babies, I made like all their creams and their everything that they needed. So I just started creating balms, and then I always used to get natural deodorants every now and again. Somebody would send some, or you'd find one, and then I just got to a point where I was like, I cannot get a natural, like a real natural deodorant, and this is
Stick
a
a
problem.
pin. Stick a pin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why I stick in a pin. I have tried natural deodorants
Mm-hmm.
and they worked for me, but I had to try it for a very long time
Mm.
until my body got used to it. Because one of the things I learned about natural deodorants is that they don't have the antiperspirant
Mm-hmm.
properties to it, which can leave you smelling like a tizuezo, like a little bird, right? So explain to us why it was important for you to use a natural deodorant or to even introduce natural deodorants as part of the line that you carry.
Mhm. Okay, so for me personally, I never really used antiperspirants. I was always like, Miss Natural, right? So, there's a lot of chemicals in antiperspirants that we're not supposed to block our pores. Basically, they clog up the pores in your underarms, stop you from sweating, and that's not really how nature intended, right? Now, we can't do everything as nature intended, but as much as we can do, I think we should do, right?
Mhm,
So, um, there's a lot of evidence to show that it's linked to breast cancer, it's linked to lumps and cysts on the underarms to use things that block up the pores. But obviously, we don't want to just move to something natural and be like, oh, yeah, we're so natural, but we smell, right? Because we
mhm,
don't want that. Well, I don't want that. I don't
mhm,
think
mhm,
people want that, right?
mhm,
I was determined to create a natural deodorant that works. And again, like you, I had some experience in the past of buying something and it's like, yeah, it's natural, but it doesn't really work. Okay, throw that one. Try another one. So I really did a lot of research myself into what is going to be the most effective.
mhm,
Um, and really be the best for people's skin because a lot of natural deodorants rely on baking soda
mhm,
as the active ingredient. And that is fine. Like some people do just great with baking soda. Um, and they don't have any problems. But for some people, it causes a reaction either immediately or in the long term. So I knew, and for me, that it did cause a reaction. So I just knew I didn't want that part of my mix, even though it's a natural ingredient. So I
mhm,
started looking into okay, what are the alternatives? What are the different ways that natural deodorant works? Um, because a lot of the natural deodorants they will work by altering the pH of your underarm so that the when you sweat, it's not your sweat that smells, it's the bacteria that eat the sweat that smells.
mm.
Causes
Because I found, and I'm gonna be real with y'all on the live, I found like I was almost like developing an allergic reaction to the
Mm,
natural deodorant where it was very itchy,
yes.
like it was itchy. And I actually did this during COVID, so because I was like,
Mm,
oh, I'm gonna like detox, and
yeah.
because it's I have an opportunity. If I'm gonna stink, I'm gonna stink by myself because I was alone. And so I went through that process, right? And I swear, like I thought like I had gotten like a fungal infection under my arms because it was
Itchy.
so itchy,
Yeah.
right? So tell us a little bit about, because you're what you're saying there is so important for a lot of us who want healthier alternatives.
Mhm.
What makes your deodorant special? And because Dominica, let me tell you, Dominica, right, these days have a chalet. And if you're, they just say sure unsure,
Yeah.
how can you remain sure, during that heat
Yeah.
that happens in Dominica with your deodorant, especially a natural deodorant?
Yeah, for sure. So, as you highlighted, the itchiness, so that can come from a few different things. Mostly the culprit is going to be the baking soda because that's used by the majority of naturals use baking soda. And then some naturals use artificial fragrances, so they can say they claim to be natural, but when you look, if you see parfum fragrances, whatever, it's not.
Artificial.
Yeah.
It's not
So,
natural.
and that can sometimes cause a reaction. Again, it's not for everybody. Some people can use it and they're like, no, this is fine, this works for me, but it can cause a reaction. So those are the two main culprits. And it could be just like it just doesn't go with you, like
Hmm,
not
hmm,
we're not, all made the same. So you
hmm,
really have to find what works. But my mission was to find something that I could create that would be accessible for everybody and minimize all those reactions. And I have actually now been the deodorants have now been certified. They went through a test with SGS Labs in France, and they've all been certified as non-irritants. to the skin.
Wow, congratulations, Terry. Congratulations. What are the different I almost wanted to say flavors, like as if I'm
Yes,
supposed to be
I
testing them.
always say flavors.
But what are the different can you still call it fragrances, or what are
Yes,
the different, because you say it's not fragrance normally when it says fragrance it's not natural anymore, but what are the different flavors you have?
woman. For real. Okay, so I did seven, which are the rainbow colors, because I always love in Dominica that you're always seeing rainbows.
Mhm.
And I lived actually in, when I first started being natural, I lived in Watton Waven. And I would see rainbows every day. So I just always love that idea of, smelling like the rainbow, or just
Mm.
feeling like the rainbow. So I have roots, which is patchouli cedarwood, which is very manly, earthy. I have harmony, which is the orange one, and that is bergamot geranium. It's kind of light and floral. I have Joyful, which is tangerine and Mei Chang, which is like a citrusy flower. Joyful is my most popular. It has like its own little fan club. Everyone loves Joyful.
Mm.
Then I have Inspire, which is tea tree and eucalyptus. So that's like that really fresh, smell that some people just
That sounds
like.
like the one I like. That
Yes,
sounds like what I would like.
yeah. Then I have Pure, which is completely unscented for people that, even some people might even have reactions to essential oils if they're particularly sensitive, or they just
Mhm.
may want to wear something that doesn't have any fragrance, so it doesn't clash with anything else they want to wear, or it's good for like breastfeeding moms as well. Because
Mhm.
you have your baby like right under your arm, so they're not getting any smells except you, and so that's really
Mm.
good. And for young children as well. And then I have the Pleasure, which is ylang ylang and petitgrain, and that's just, the ylang ylang is just so alluring and just
Mhm.
lovely. And
That's a
then
mene vini self.
and
Mhm.
then you have Calm, which is lavender and chamomile, which is, loads of people love lavender. It's so calming, it's soothing, it's relaxing. So there we go. And seven different
Wow.
types. Yeah.
So, what are the other products that you have that Be Natural has?
Okay, so I do lip balms. Again, mostly I have the full spectrum of the rainbow there: rose, ginger, citrus, mint, lavender, and I have a really nice one that I just developed recently. It's called Bush Tea. It's the blue one,
Mm.
and it's got
Mm.
basilic, poivre, and lemongrass. Yeah, so it really smells like a bush tea because I'm obsessed.
Wow.
I'm obsessed with bush tea. So like,
Wow. Wow. This is amazing. So you have the lip balms, the
yeah,
deodorant.
and then I have the body balms, which are like small tins, which are good for like dry skin. We have like foot balm, which is great. People rub that on their feet at night to soothe their feet, keep them soft. We have the hands. We have a calm balm, which is good for like little irritation, dry skin. Um, what else? We have tropical spice, which is all the spices of Dominica. Like it has ginger base, cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, and then orange to give it a little boost. So it's, yeah.
Folks are saying that they got to get your products, and I want to go to the live chat because people have been asking questions. They want to know, first of all, they want to know, do you have sunscreen? So do you do a line with sunscreen? So that's the first question.
Not yet. Coming soon.
Coming soon. Coming soon, Simone. Thank you very much, Simone, for your question. Somebody wants to know about whether or not you do tours of your, and I wanted to kind of leave that for last because I know that is something that was part of what you were developing with the GEMS
Yeah.
Foundation grant. So I want to hold off on that one. Still, we want to get to that. But someone else was saying that they it's always lovely and inspiring to see our locals manage their own business in natural products. Congrats to you, Miss Henry. That's Glenda Schillenford, is saying congratulations to you and that she wants to get your products. There was another question that I believe I pinned, but did I get to it? I might have gotten to it, or I might have asked it, but I tend to try and like the question. If you have a question and I missed it, just ask again, and I will be sure to ask Terry your question. So you have all of these different lines, and you've been expanding, and it's clear that you want to expand. Why do you want to expand, Terry? Why do you feel it's necessary to expand,
Yeah.
and what are your plans of expansion?
Right. So I guess sometimes it's customer driven. People ask for different things. Like that is where I made a body butter called Body Butterfly, which is like it's like a body butter, but it's light and it's really good like for all over the body. Whereas the balms were more for like smaller areas of the body. So
Hmm.
people are like, oh, I want something you put all over, or right, that's really moisturizing. So I made that, and then I have other requests for products, like people just ask for sunscreen. And um and then I love experimenting, I love creating. It keeps things exciting. I've actually had to really pull back on that a bit because I think as a creative person, you have a lot of ideas, right? And then you just want to like be, oh, I love that. I want to do this. I want to do that. And you
Hmm.
get so excited. And then you end up kind of like with a lot of things half done. And I
Hmm.
really,
Or messing your business up because you're focusing on build creating new products when the
Mhm.
ones that are there are sustainable enough to
Yeah.
to so you kind
And
of have to do and just say, okay, I'm sticking to just these chocolates and not expanding and putting fruits in them.
Yeah. So I mean, especially with the deodorants picking up, like I was finding I was out of stock. I couldn't get stuff in quick enough. I couldn't make them quick enough. Like, that you saw my video with the gems grant that I bought the machine so that I could expand production. So I could keep up with demand. So I think that's really important for me to make sure that I deliver what people want right now. And then once I get control of that, there's like 100 other products in the pipeline. So I want to expand into using honey in some products. I have a line that I have in mind for that. I also want to use bee pollen and propolis and bee venom in my products. So yeah, but don't worry, it won't cause a reaction.
It won't sting.
So I have like a whole idea of things that I want to do from the beehive, like to move from just the beeswax to like all the products that I can get from the hive. But again, it's like step by step by step, because otherwise it just becomes unsustainable and chaotic.
Wow. So you've been, in order for you to expand your business, grow your business, as probably most people will know, you cannot solely rely on the bank or even probably funding internally. Sometimes you have to seek funding elsewhere. And Terry, for those of you who don't know, Terry has participated quite a few I might add quite a few events, very actively engaging in whether it is to do with CARICOM, whether it's within the OECS, whether it's to do within Dominica, any chance she can get, or anything that probably she crosses her eye that has to do with possibility of a grant or a pitch or whatever. So you've won. You were the winner of the Best Sustainable Entrepreneurship Award in the OECS. That's the CARICOM Micro Pitch. You were also the winner of the GEMS Foundation Entrepreneurship Challenge that was back in May. Which I had I witnessed you doing your grand pitch, which was amazing. You also placed in the Innovative Challenge, first place, as well as the NDFD Green Innovative Summit. You placed first place, and you've actively gone out to get funding. Why do you feel it is important or necessary for you to seek funding to continue doing what you do, as well as expanding your Be Natural brand?
Yeah. Okay, so Be Natural was started on a shoestring. Like I had no money behind me. I had no like I had really like minimal, right? So first thing I just like got a few things, little bottles of everything, and started. And then when I'd sell that, I would get a little bit more. And then I got my first loan at NDFD to help my business. And so it's just been a very slow incremental growth and scaling up, and that involves, you have to sacrifice a lot to do that. And that's all part of it. It just helps you get focused. It helps you grow your business in a way that makes sense. Um, I think it's actually a real gift not to have like a huge amount of cash at the beginning, because it makes you get strategic and
Mhm.
really focus on what you're doing. But that's necessary. As you're growing, you need more funds. And sometimes, as you said, it cannot just always be sustained from the business. Like the machine I just bought and the other things I'm investing in to grow the business significantly. So, um, I think there's a lot of opportunities for Caribbean entrepreneurs to expand, as there are things available. And if it's available, like, I'm putting my hand up and saying, yeah, I want some of that because I really want to grow this business. I really, it's not just for me, like obviously I have my family to support. I have goals and personal visions that I want to achieve, but I just think it's so important that we see examples of success. We see homegrown, businesses. We see things coming from our own soil and figuring out, like, so the next generation doesn't have to figure everything out from scratch.
Mhm.
And we
Mhm.
can see, okay, that's a sustainable livelihood. Like, I don't need to go overseas and do everything overseas. I can actually stay home. I can create a business. I can live. So I want to just broaden the scope of opportunities. And hopefully by me making my business, like, the more I can grow it, the more like people I can employ, the more people I can help, support, mentor. Maybe one day I'll even have my own entrepreneurship challenge, and be a
Mhm.
sponsor,
Mhm.
and help the next generation grow from that. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I want to just, acknowledge that even through your video, I one of the things that I noted is that before you were doing like 20 deodorants out of your whatever simple machinery that you had, making your deodorants, and you went from doing 20 to doing 140, which is like amazing,
Yeah.
right? Just having this machine. So I want to commend, Gems Foundation for that challenge, and I mean, I can commend them because I'm part of the foundation, right? And I felt, when being part of it, we all have to be in agreement, to move ahead with something. And I really want to big up Lizra, Fabian, for for putting out that initiative, and you winning this, and seeing you win, and seeing how much you've done, out of just this simple, um just simple extra injection of revenue into your business, that makes so much of a big difference, because your supplies, your product has quadrupled, right, so to speak, that you actually have more product to sell. So I want to,
Mhm.
first of all, congratulate you, commend the Gems Foundation for the initiative, and it's good that people like yourself see these opportunities and you go for it, because some people might be also saying too, Terry always winning everything, but you don't win if you don't put yourself out there. So there's a lot that goes into actually preparing yourself for these sorts of grants, and it's not just wash your foot and come. you
Mhm.
have to you have to have proper financials. You have to show profit and loss. You have to show your balance sheets. You have to have a plan. You have to do a business plan. So there's a lot that goes into doing these, and once you do one, I feel like once you do one, you kind of have like the blueprint for the rest, because it's a very similar process, but you have to like lottery, you have to be in it for you to win it,
Yeah.
right? And if you're not in it, then there's no way you're gonna win. And I want to commend you for really putting yourself out there, because for one, putting yourself out there
Right.
to tell the
Yeah.
world what you do, how you do, what you need, or what you're gonna do with what they give you, and then remain accountable, because they come back and ask you, can we
Yeah.
see what you did with the money? They
Yeah.
want to know. So it takes a lot. What is it like for you, doing all of these different challenges and all of these different initiatives to raise funds for your business?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of work to do it. I started actually with a Caribbean export grant that I got, I think, in 2021. And that is paperwork. But that was a grant that enabled me to get my deodorants tested and just really progress. And I saw the leap that I could make. And so this year really pushed me out of my comfort zone, because the Caribbean Export grant was just paperwork. I was like, yeah, I can sit behind my computer, I can like write stuff, I can, I had to hiring an accountant. Thank you, Luana, for putting all my stuff finance focus. Give her a plug because she took
Yes, big up to you. Oh yeah, she's also on the live. She bigs you up. She actually bigged you up
my
earlier on.
yeah.
Yes.
So to get all the
Another local business, by the way, guys. Sorry to
feedback,
cut you off. Another local business, female owned, female run business in Dominica, Finance Focus. You could also follow her on Facebook. She's one of my sponsors now and again. She sponsors, so I want to make sure I big her up. I check for my own. Continue, Terry.
yeah. So the Caribbean Expo program was great because it was just like paperwork. And then this pitch came up. The first one I did was the micro pitch, the CARICOM. And quite honestly, I had no clue what I was doing. They had like this one evening of training, and then they were like, okay, just pitch. And I'm like, I wrote down notes, and I really was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? And how am I going to do it? And I made it through to the finals. And from there, I was like, okay, I have to get serious now. I have to really learn what is a pitch, how to do it, what to
Watch a
say.
little bit of Shark Tank.
Oh, I think I watched every episode of Shark Tank. Like, I became like, as I was making my products, Shark Tank was on YouTube. So
Hmm.
I would watch, I'd take notes, I would watch like every video on how to pitch, what to do, what to say. I'd watch like previous ones from that competition, because everything is very specific to the competition that you're in. It's not just a one size fits all. So you have to really look at what their criteria is, what they want, what they're looking for. Why should they even bother to help
Your
you?
market,
Right. So
their what their strengths are, because you also have to play on that. You know.
yeah. So I got through that one and I won the award within the OECS. And that was like a huge boost of confidence for me, because I'm not naturally like somebody who's always out there, and it doesn't come naturally, right? So I have to really work on like creating videos and promoting my products. Like I'd quite happily like just stay behind the scenes and make my stuff. So
Hmm.
it's part of my business that I have to promote it and be out there. And then the GEMS Foundation grant came through, and a few people sent it to me. And I was like, yeah, I think this would be good for you. And I was like, wow, this is an amazing opportunity. It's a local grant. It's really focused on tourism and just strengthening this whole sector. And I felt that my business, the way it's moving and what I wanted to contribute, would really be of benefit for that sector. And I just went all in, bought my beehive and and everything. And just it was really exciting to create that kind of presentation and have
Hmm.
that opportunity, and then yeah, so I just been learning as I go along and pushing myself out of my comfort zone completely.
Wow, thank you very much for sharing that with us, and congratulations again to you. I gotta go back to the chat because there are a few folks who popped in while we were speaking and had a few questions. One of the questions is, where can I get your products abroad? So somebody wants to know, Do you ship outside of Dominica? If so, where is that available?
Yeah. So yes, we do. My website is in process actually, because since I won the Flow Innovation Grant,
Hmm.
that is paying for my website, which is
Hmm.
fantastic. So that will be operational soon. In the meantime, you can check out Be Natural Balm. Just contact me on like Facebook Messenger or Instagram, or find me on WhatsApp. Once you shoot me a message, tell me where you are, and I will just send you the details of how to get it. Pretty soon,
Okay.
it will be like, yeah, I'm going to the Be Natural store.
Website. And you just click.
In the meantime, we're a little manual, but we get it done. And I do have customers all the time sending out stuff to overseas, so it's not a problem.
Great. Another question comes from one of my stars. So entrepreneurs Joseph, who shared stars earlier on, is asking, what is the timeline of your deodorant per usage? Example, 8 hours, 10 hours, 24 hours. Like people want to know, like,
Yeah.
how long am I gonna be short for? Do
Mhm.
I have to put this and hold some in my purse, and later on I have to put it on again, go in the washroom, pass the water on my arm? Like, what is the timeline for your deodorant?
Good question. Okay, so when you're making cosmetic products, right, you really cannot make certain claims unless they have been signed, like verified in a lab, right? So I'm not allowed to put on my deodorant packaging like last 8 hours or last the whole day or whatever. But they last the whole day. So
So based on the experience
yeah.
of customers and the reviews that you've gotten, the
Mhm.
timeline is somewhere between 1 to 12 hours or 12
Yeah,
hours.
like some people, they would tell me, "Hey, I put this on. Like I get up early, I put it on at 4:30 in the morning. By 8:30, I'm still smelling good. Like 8:30 at night.
Mm,
It's like a
mm,
full spectrum. Now, there is sometimes a transition period, right? Now, when you first switch from an antiperspirant to a natural deodorant, you may be in that transition period. Now, some people switch with no problem at all. Like one day they're antiperspirant, next day they're natural, no problem.
come on, not
And
me.
because you didn't try Be Natural first, that's why.
Yeah, my body went through shock. I
Yeah,
thought I was dying. I was like, boy, mocha grazie. I was
yeah.
scratching.
No,
It was, it,
don't even
it
Be Natural
was
because
because
our
because a huge part of it for me was that I noticed that my underarms were the color. I was going through hyperpigmentation underneath my
Mhm,
underarm, and it had nothing to do with whether I shaved or waxed. And I was like, probably I
mhm.
should just go natural. And then when the pandemic hit, and I was like, oh well, I guess I'm gonna go natural. And let me tell you, I was going crazy. I was going insane. I always actually saying that she loves Joyful, that she uses it every day, and the body butter is awesome. So that's the two thing. So you were mentioning about the switch, and she said that it was an easy switch for her. So
Yeah.
continue with that for us.
Yeah, so some people it is an easy switch because the fact is that Be Natural doesn't rely on your body pH to be changed for it to be effective. We actually have a natural odor blocker in it, which pretty much works from day one, right? So some natural
Mm.
deodorants they depend on like continued usage for a period of time. However, some people can like just whatever their body chemistry, they need to detox a lot or whatever. So what we recommend is that they would use like some kind of detox, a clay to detox. Now, I do sometimes have clay that I sell, but everyone knows JD's Naturals. Everyone have a JD's Naturals clay
Yes,
mask,
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So just instead of putting it on your face or wherever else you're putting it, because I know you're all putting it all over yourself, we'll put it on your underarms.
She recommends it for underarm because she actually was the first one that told me, because I asked her, because I mean I have my people and I will ask them very straight. I was like, yo, Jody, this is what I'm going through. And she's like, try the turmeric, the clay and whatever. And I got it and I tried it. So yes,
Yeah.
so I
You
definitely
can use as a way to ease into
transition.
using a natural. But
Ah.
what I would recommend is first of all, just try make the switch and see what your body does. Now, if you find that you're having some issues, then go to the clay in the evenings, put your clay mask on your underarm for, a few times a week, and then you should notice a difference. If you don't, call me, message me, tell me what's up, and I will see what other recommendations I can make. But on the whole, most people have had a seamless transition to natural, and once they try Be Natural, there's just no going back to anything else.
Wow. Wow. If you have any questions, guys, now is the time to shoot. Iola is telling me to big up Dexia. I don't know how I have to big how why should I big up Dexia, Iola? Because Dexia not sponsoring Jael Joseph Live.
They have Be Natural a lot.
Terry said, Terry, Iola, tell Dexia to sponsor Jael Joseph Live so they can get plenty big ups. so, so she's probably dying. She's probably rolling on the floor dying. But that was great information for us. I mean, I've learned so much from our conversation here today. I learned about bees. I learned about hives. I learned about what to do to transition. I learned about antiperspirant and deodorant. I learned about the rainbows. I learned about so many. I know somebody was asking earlier on about tours of your location because people might be interested. Tell us a little
Mhm.
bit about what are the services you offer at your location, if that is a service that you offer.
Yes, it's coming real soon, actually. So it's been in development for like the whole summer. So first of all, like we just got impromptu people just like saying, "Can we come?" Like a lot of the time, it would be like organizations, that would come, like maybe Israel Aid or Dexia. They would say, "Let's just come and visit Be Natural and see what you're up to." And what I did was put on a display of products and then walk them through and show them where I had the bees. And then there's just been more and more interest. We did a couple with some schools, and the children love it, and that is like, I love doing that with young children, like just getting them into learning about nature and the environment and sustainability and naturalness and everything. So I love doing that. And I was like, okay, we need to develop this as part of Be Natural. Again, because it's kind of my background was always that, like nature based services. So I feel like it's bringing me full circle,
Mhm.
back into that. The products have led back into services. So with the grant from GEMS, we were able to buy an observation hive, which is a hive with, it's basically like a cabinet. And so when you open it, you have a full window into the beehive so you can see what the bees are doing, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can mind their business.
Yes.
Mm.
Without actually having to go in a hive,
Disrupting.
pull out the frames, and stuff. So we will offer the opportunity for people to actually go into hives if they feel comfortable, because there's some people that are, they might be beekeepers, from other places. They may want to come and experience actual going into beekeeping, but
And
for
some
now,
people just want to get stung.
so yeah.
And
It's
some people just say this.
actually a therapy, it's actually,
Therapeutic stinging.
yeah, that people actually do pay to get stung because it's good for boosting the immune system. It's good for like
Just
some
would be the
autoimmune
one.
diseases. It's good for like arthritis and things like that. So actually, it's actually a therapy, but we're not offering that as yet. So we taking all precautions for you not to get stung.
Okay.
Um, but the tour involves just learning about bees, explaining a little bit more about bees, the environment that we're in. You can see the bees through the observation hive, and it's just fascinating to watch them, build their comb, fill it with honey. I mean, bees are just endlessly fascinating, right? Like
Wow.
they dance to communicate with each other. They have like this whole democratic system. They're just amazing. So we'll be going into that quite a bit. And then there'll be a chance to try out Be Natural products. There'll be like little sample testers and honey for you to taste. And I've been growing a lot of different herbs. So we'll be able to pick our bush for tea and then try it with the different honey available. So that will be the garden program, and it's pretty much being launched at the end of this month.
That is fantastic. Terry, thank you very, very much. If anybody has any more questions, let me know. Now is an opportunity for you to ask your final questions. I think I grabbed every single person who asked questions so far. A few folks had comments, like Nightner said, "Congrats, Terry. Continue to reach for the stars. Proud of you, my friend." Esther Donald said, "What a wonderful woman doing so much in the world." We had a few other people who were commending you. I just want to try and get a big up. So that was Luana. Luana came up. Quite a few folks have commented. When the Schillenford came back again, and she's congratulating you. Beverly Blackman also said something to the effect of her daughter had. Where is it? I'm trying to. Whew. She said something about her daughter, and I'm trying to find the chat, but I can't find it
Oh,
right
well,
now.
yeah, I really have to mention my daughter.
And
It would not
so
complete if I did not mention my daughter, because she has been part of the business since it started. When I started when she was 10, and she was always like helping and being part of it. I remember once we did a mini expo, and I was like, okay, you just hold the table for a while. I just need to run and get something. And when I came back, some people were videoing her, and like, she explains the product so well. She's amazing. And since then, she's always been a help. Now I get her to help with social media, video editing. She's always there to help me label, set up stuff. She's awesome.
fantastic. Ayola is saying Terry Henry is such an inspiration. Can't wait to see more growth at Be Natural. Folks are clapping for you. Terry, I want to commend you on what you're doing with your bees and your this initiative, and congratulate you for all the many wins. And I'm sure there are going to be more grants coming up that you will probably submit to, because in as much as it's hard work to get to them, I mean, I like to call it's easy money, because if you know your product, you know how to sell yourself, you know how to pitch, you know how to. And right now in the world, everybody's looking for innovation, sustainability. And once you capitalize on your product capitalizes on these main things, people see the vision, right? So I want to commend you on putting yourself out there and constantly, you showcase Dominica, because in as much as you do it for yourself, people across the Caribbean get to see Dominica. They get to see your products. You get to promote what you do, and I cannot wait to someday come to the observation. I'll stay from afar. The observation. I'm not scared of bees though. Like Mark, I'm not scared of them. I just have never had a reaction to getting stung, and the one stung, and it's still like itchy. Like today, it's still a little itchy and stuff. And I
Yeah.
was just kind of like what the hell, a little put off by it. Somebody gave me vinegar and something and garlic, something to put on
Mhm.
it, and I tried all kinds of things, but it didn't work. It didn't work, and it still remained itchy. But
Be nice.
I will have to do that. But I want to commend you on your work so far. Folks are coming on, and they're saying, like Joanne is saying, great program, congratulations. Proud of Dominica. That's Joanne John Baptist. Anika Bellat is saying, see how far you've come. It's truly an inspiration. Keep snatching up all the grants and awards.
Thank
She's telling
you.
you, keep snatching them up. But it's not easy work. It's hard work. People look at it, and they might be jaloux, they might be envious, they might be all sorts of things. But it is really hard work actually putting yourself out there, not just in like you putting yourself out there as a face, but also putting your shit properly down on paper.
Mhm.
That is also heavily scrutinized and monitored, even in the evaluation process, to determine whether or not you deserve these grants. And I want to commend you on the work that you've done so far, and your entire team. And I just want to wish you all the best in whatever you do. And I want to leave it now up to you. If you have any final words that you want to say, anything anybody you want to shout out, I want to open up the floor to you now before we wrap up.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed myself. I really enjoyed the questions, and it's been really fun. So thanks so much. And there's probably so many people that I have to thank, but like my support team, there's people that just that they help, they support, encouragement, advice, information. I'm just really feel blessed to have, a very supportive community of people around me. Family, everyone, and all my retailers around Dominica. Go check out Zeb Puyol in the Old Market. You'll find everything. And there's other retailers. So check out at Be Natural Balm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yes, that's about it, guys. That's about it. Thank you very much, Terry. Ariane is saying love and more love and support. Folks are coming on now. Now, folks are like coming on. Congratulations, Terry. Natasha is saying so. Terry, congratulations to you, and keep doing you. And I hope one day I can come out and check out your products. Entrepreneurs, Joseph is saying awesome, and everybody's so excited for you and what's to come. Thanks again for joining us, Terry. I appreciate it. All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay, then, guys, that was Terri Henry of Be Natural, and it was so nice having her on the program here with me. I mean, such a wealth of knowledge. I like when people can come and it wasn't about coming to sell her product, right? It was about a learning experience. I learned a lot. I hope you learned a lot. I think we could almost use this as a YouTube video to teach people about bees, because I was genuinely surprised to know a lot of the things that I learned here this evening. And thank you very much to all those of you who came on and who shared the live. And if you're just coming on now and you're probably wondering, like, what's going on? Share the live first. Make sure you hit that share button and share the live, and don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we do live shows like that, which are so super informative and interactive, because you got me, your host, hello, you could join on and you can come in. I'm sorry you came in late, Beverly, but you could always go back and watch the entire show from start to end. I'm available on YouTube. Yes, Jael Joseph. So go on YouTube. The entire show is there right now on there for you. You don't have to wait 10 days or 2 days or 2 months. Nobody needs to edit it. You can just go on there and take a look at it at your convenience. So you can stop it, rewind it, fast forward it. You can do whatever you want. If you want to zoom, whatever you want to do, it's available there for you to check out. So you can follow on YouTube. You can come back right here on Facebook and take a look at the show. Thank you, Valda, for the support. Thank you, Beverly. Great show. People are saying I'm leaving with knowledge of bees. All the best to with your expansion, Terry. Somebody's saying that they just got on the feed. Beverly saying great show. All the best to you, Terry. So folks are coming on now and very excited. Once I end the live, you can go back and watch right here. Thank you very much to all those of you who tuned in. I truly appreciate you, and I truly appreciate the support. I want to encourage Terry, because some folks, I don't think we missed anybody, but just in case we missed anybody, to go back on the comments and check out if anybody had any questions that I may have missed, because I'm human. So if I missed it, it's in relation to her products, and she can definitely answer. And I encourage you, if you're looking at a repeat of this show, so if you're going to be looking at a repeat of this show, don't forget you can tag Be Naturals when you ask any questions, and she'll always just pop back in and communicate with you if you have any questions. Because sometimes you're watching a show and you don't want to leave and go and ask the question and come back. You just want to act to the person. You don't ask the questions underneath and they'll come back and answer. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to the Jael Joseph Live exclusive interviews. I have a comedian coming up soon. You got to find out who it is. Make sure you keep following, and I will stay connected to you. Don't forget to take care of yourself this weekend. It's the weekend, and be good to yourself always. All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.
on through here, people. And of course, you checked in, you're live, you tuned into the Jael Joseph live show. You don't know. Jael go be the last one standing. Boom.
Yo, this is your boy Sonic Taz, and guess what? You're tuned in into the Jael Joseph live show. That's what it is.
I'm Gordon Henderson. You're viewing Jael Joseph Live.
Hey yo, this is Benji from the MFR band, and you're tuned in to Jael Joseph live show. Nothing gonna change my love for you.
Hey yo fam, what's good? This is your boy Circular here from TK International, and we're representing for Jael Joseph Live. Big up. Boom!